Let's get into it. Busy. I'm waking up early in the morning, get my hustle on. If you go to war with me, I hope your money long. Told them I ain't here for the games or you sing along. If there's money out here and I can't eat, then we can get along. Let's get into it. Get along. Yeah, I'm hot, boy.
Good morning. We're back. It's your boy DJ Duya.
I'm Biz. Yes.
For debate, man. Yo, I was playing around with this thing. I didn't know that we could after the show goes off live, that we could reschedule it and just have it keep playing. I didn't know that, so I was messing around with it, and it was playing all day.
Yo. What?
Yeah, so we got a good guest today, man. Talk about it.
We got a good guest today. This is a guy I knew for almost over a decade, you know what I mean, and played on the same team as him, was his quarterback, also played on the team he owned, was his quarterback, was his wide receiver, tight end. I mean, this guy has literally taught me so much when it came to football, life, and he's always been there for me as a big brother, you know what I mean, outside of football, personal matter, he's always reached out. Let's bring Coach Daryl Koo out, man. Coach Daryl.
What up?
Hey, it's good to have you, man. What they don't know is Coach is from the areas that we are from, You hear what I'm saying? So he knows what it's like to be in the culture. He knows what it's like for the kids the single parent homes, the hustlers. You know, he's been there. He's dealt with all of them. You know what I mean? He's one of them that knows the culture in and out. You know what I mean? And he's happy, and he's still reaching his hand back in to help us. So, Coach, what's going on? Coach Daryl Koo out. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Biz? What's up, DJ Duya? What's going on? Thanks for having me on today. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. We would one thing me and Duya is really big on is when we started the talk for debate was really about the surrounding areas that we are in: Kingston, New Paltz, Poughkeepsie, Albany, Newburgh. Anything that Saugerties, any town that it was really about here. Having bringing it together here. But and when I think of that, I literally think of you, Coach. I hands down, from youth football to the Hudson Valley Buccaneers to the Hudson Valley Mountaineers, you had your hand in everything. You know what I mean? You had your thoughts and everything, and you really are big on the youth program, building the youth young. So we're really, it's a pleasure for us to have you on this show, to be honest with you, man.
I appreciate that a lot.
So what I want to get into, I want the people that don't know you, give them a little bit about you, your coach history, who you are, and everything a little bit, Coach.
Oh, man, you already started touching on the roots, man. So, yeah, I was born and raised in Kingston, and, my stepfather was Dino Bullock, so we ran the streets of Kingston, man. And, I knew back in the day that I was in those groups of being in trouble all the time and running with the crews and had to get out. So joined the military, got out, went all the way to California, man, and did 5 years at search and rescue, jumping out of helicopters for a living and, saving people. And then after that, kind of changed, put me in a different direction. And as soon as I got out, they had the Kingston Panthers for semi-pro. And I was like, yo, I'm in shape. I had 6% body fat. I was ripped and ready to go, and started wide receiver next to Jesse Robinson, me and him. And we played with the Panthers until Clausey sold the team to the Bergen Group and changed it to the Hudson Valley Giants. Played with the Giants until they ended. And then, Drew Murphy over there made it the Hudson Valley Saints, and then he transferred to the Tri-County Tigers. And Bird played on those teams, and then Bird started his own team, the Bucks. And you know that, and you already touched on that with me and you were teammates then. And, as I got older, got fatter and slower, I had to move towards the line. So I became the tight end instead of my receiver. So, did some blocking for you. And it rest is history. Me and Bird, I became his general manager. We did pretty damn well.
Yeah.
That season. And then the next season, I just had a different view, nothing personal. And, we went a different direction, and Kingston's my hometown, so we left and went over to Middletown as I created the Hudson Valley Mountaineers. And it was hard because I didn't know anybody. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew my reputation. Nobody knew where I came from. So to go to a completely different town, it was an hour away from where I'm from, and try and do it there. We wind up making it successful. First year out, we won a championship, put a ring on our fingers, and it was great. And then, of course, the next year we decided to go to the MLF, which is Major League Football, and we didn't win a single game. And you can't win them all. So we didn't put our heads down, and we just rebuilt. And then the next 3 years after that, we were in the playoffs every year, competing for national championships, and it became a very success. We're on a 2-year break right now until Dietz gets finished, but we'll be back at Dietz in 2024 and try and build a team that can go all the way to the top again.
Yes. Yeah, I was part of those other 3 teams, coaches besides the ring team. But yes, it was a hard time, but we made it happen. Good coaching. Coach, I have a couple of questions for you. Me and my host have a couple of questions for you. And the question that I had do you want to ask your question first, actually, do you?
Well, he didn't really touch on, I wanted you to touch on the high school coaching as well.
Yes, well, that's where I was going to get to, actually. That was going to be my question. My question was pretty much when having a history playing for so long, coaching, and then, owning the team and now coaching, and you've always been coaching from youth to high school. Besides the quarterback, when you build in a high school team, what are you looking for to build outside of the quarterback?
The O-line.
Yeah.
You got to have an offensive line. Without an offensive line, quarterback can't do his job. He's got no time. He's always hustling around in the pocket. It throws off all the timing. But when you do have an offensive line, you build your team around an offensive line, those are your key guys. All of a sudden, your receivers got time to get into their routes. They can do their breaks. The quarterback can sit in the pocket, and everybody knows in football that when your quarterback has an extra 1 to 1.5 seconds, that is the world of difference. We can run, we can pass, he can scramble. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to have a decent offensive line. No matter where you go, high school, youth football, semi-pro, the pros, we all know offensive line.
Okay.
And those guys never get any credit. So I always, from the youth level, I preach right off the bat, because nobody wants to be a lineman at that age. They all want to carry the ball.
Yeah.
So, and they all want to pass the ball or catch the ball. So from day one, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, the 5 most important people on that field is your offensive line. And then all of a sudden it clicks. You're like, wow, I could be an important person. So now it's okay. The kids can say, you know what? I don't mind being an offensive line because Coach Kuhau said that I'm one of the most important guys.
Yes,
so it changes that mentality of a kid at an early age. And then if they gravitate towards that position, it's amazing to watch them grow. When they get to the high school level, it's just, it's amazing. And they're not set at that particular position because some kids are heavy when they're little, and then when they get big, they thin right out and they can go to another position. And coaches have to be open to letting the kid who's always been an offensive lineman, when he gets up to the high school level, you know what? No, you're an offensive lineman. You say you play. No. Let him try out, because we all know you never know what you got sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So give them an opportunity.
That's it. And speaking on the high school level and everything, what, Coach? Because I know what you're gonna bring. I know what's in store for these high school kids. But can you give my host, my other host, can you give him a little bit of what you bring to the high school? What are you looking for to bring to high school sports?
So I'm one of those coaches. When I come to the high school, I'm going to give them every trade secret that I have learned from my youth days all the way up to my semi-pro days. I got to give them the secrets of, techniques and my receivers. They have to learn how to get in the breaks, what foot goes up forward, and how to get the head turned around and then the hips follow. I mean, it's just all those secret, working on the secret drills that normal coaches just ain't got time to do, because they're so concentrated on, kids coming in, they do the 4 years, they roll out. They came in, they roll out, and they keep rolling out. So I'm not a head coach, and I don't really have a desire to be a head coach. I mean, if somebody presented me with a head coach position, I would probably take it. But I don't have a desire to be the head coach at a high school level, because I would rather focus more on teaching these kids the fundamentals and techniques that's ultimately going to make them better when they do get college or even go into the pros or even come to semi-pro after high school. It depends on, what their plans are.
Yeah.
So that's my job as a coach. This past season, everybody knows I coached Ellenville Modified. I helped the varsity level during their 8-man regional championship as a volunteer. And we went all the way to that. And, even the coaches were on the headsets. They sat there and they didn't realize I had a headset on. But they were like, "Oh, Coach Kuau, he knows what he's talking about." And I'm like, "Yep, you're welcome."
Yeah,
but that's what I'm there for. I'm not there for the accolades. I'm not there for look at me. I'm there to better these kids and better the program, no matter what program I'm in. When I left Ellenville, before I went over to New Paltz this year, there was 5 different schools that reached out to me, and I'm like, wow, I must have did something right, but and it wasn't like giving me a big head either. It was like, okay, what program is going to be best for me? Now I had Cornwall reached out to me and wanted me to come over there and be a coach over there. Now, if I wanted to fluff up my coaching career, that's a place to go. I mean, they win championships every year.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about that for me. It was like, what program can I go to that I can do the most beneficial work for these kids to get better? So, I played, I went to New Paltz because we moved around a million times, that's in the day, people still do it now, but, we moved around. I moved 3-4 times in one school year, from George Washington Elementary to Kennedy School to Mahar School. Then we ended up in New Paltz. So, we went to New Paltz, and I played there in 7th and 8th grade. And then I came back to Kingston after that because we moved around again, I was like, New Paltz, they got some good kids. They had 8 straight up studs, as the seniors, and we just lost all them this year, but we got 19 kids coming up next year. So, it's going to be
good luck right there.
Yeah. So I had 2 questions, but the first one, we're going to stay with the kids, and then we'll double back to the semi-pro. But like, what's the difference you see in the kids between, before COVID and like post COVID? Is there a difference, or let's just elaborate on that for a little bit.
There is a slight difference. There's not a major difference. Before COVID, we didn't have to worry about wearing masks, and we didn't have to worry about social distancing and, stuff like that. And then after COVID, because everybody was still kind of wary about it, we had to limit, the social distancing in the film room. And sometimes we couldn't even watch film. We had to do film over Zoom, and that's it's not the same to be able to look a kid in his eyes, point to him, talk to him, because everybody's trying to talk at one time. So you miss a lot of stuff.
Yep.
But, as far as coaching style or anything like that, I never changed nothing. The Mountaineers, the semi-pro, we played during the COVID season, went 4-0, and never, not a single guy ever got sick on the team. So,
no, not one.
That was the thing. They were like, COVID, like, you sure this ain't just another strand of the flu that they always call it, strand of the flu.
Right.
You know what? I'm no doctor. I'm no scientist. I don't really care. If I get sick, I get sick and nurse myself back to where I'm supposed to be. And it is what it is, man.
There you go. So then my second question was in regards to like the semi-pro. How hard is it really like managing the team as far as like the financials? How do you guys go about that, man? Do you ask for donations? I know some of the players have to pay to play. Just talk about that, because that's got to be the hardest part, because it's not like the community, and I'm not ishing on the community, but it's not like they give you tons of support,
Right. So, Kingston is Kingston. Born and raised there. I always got a soft spot for Kingston. That's where I'm from, man. And when you start talking about Kingston and community, it means a lot to me, because again, that's where I came from. And I was one of those inner city kids who, hung out Rondout Gardens and Broadway East. I mean, that's where I'm from. We lived on Stuyvesant Street. That was my home. But I think politics takes a big effect in community when it comes to trying to get support. I've reached out to the mayor all the time, and he's taking care of me. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I have nothing bad to say about him or anything. But as far as like, we got the Romeo Auto Group, man, and Romeo, Joe Romeo over there has sponsored this team for the Mountaineers for years. He loves the fact that we are involved with community. We bring the youth for halftime. We have a youth football night. We let them walk through the locker room, run through the tunnel. We line them up, and the players come through and smack their hands. And we do a lot for the youth, because at the end, that's the future. That could be the future Mountaineer teams. It could be the future high school teams, which comes first. And it is. And there's, we even have some Kingston High School varsity guys that come out and help with the team and do some, the ball boy or the water or the chain gang or whatever, and they're like, Coach, I'm coming to play for you next year. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'd rather see them go to college, if they can get college, and that, that's all the high school coaches. They gotta do a little bit more. Quentin over there at Kingston does a lot, man. That dude's top notch. I'm just gonna say that. But coaches across the levels, and there's probably a handful of coaches out there that actually go the extra mile for these kids. To they got to get them out of here. Get them out of here and get them into college. Get that education, get the good jobs, and football's a bonus. Don't go college just for football, because you never know. One injury and you're done.
And you're done for good, yeah.
So get that education while you can.
Yeah, and that's another thing, Coach. That's what I wanted to ask. That's the next question I wanted to ask was what do you feel like some of these high school coaches could do a little bit? Do you feel some of these high school coaches could do a little bit more for the kids to be more involved in their academics as well as their sports, so they don't fall back on just, I'm going to be this all-star, I'm going to be playing football, that's it, no matter what? Do you feel like some of these high school coaches can make the kids be more academically inclined, you feel what I'm saying, so that they're not just depending on sports?
Absolutely. So the first issue here is 9 times out of 10, every varsity coach is a teacher.
Okay.
Now, the way the unions and stuff work, the teachers get the bids first. So let's say I was a head coach of a program for 10 years and we were phenomenal and doing good. If a teacher came in and said, I want to be the head coach, I'm out. So the culture and everything that I just created and the winning teams that we created, I'm done. Now I'm just an assistant.
Well,
so now it's the teacher who gets the job. And that's not always a bad thing, because there are some teachers out there that are good. But and I might get in trouble for this, but a lot of teachers are there for the stipend, and it helps with their retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing to that is if there's a teacher out there that really cares about football, then absolutely, man. Absolutely. Be on the sideline, help these kids, because at the end, that teacher gets to see that kid in school every single day.
Yes. So I feel like they have more of
a better relationship, right?
Yeah.
They can build a better relationship with those students that they're coaching. They see them in the hallway. Hey, make sure you stay out of trouble. I'm not being a teacher. I can't be with them every day.
Yeah.
But when it comes time for practice at 2:30 and it comes time for that 2-week, 5 hours a day camp, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I don't leave. When they need, hey, coach, can you stay behind and work on some routes? Yep. What you need? All right, let's do this. But could coaches do a lot? Yeah, because a lot of teachers are just for the stipend, and teachers are busy, man. They're busy people. They do this after school. And the reason why they do it is because they teach all day and then they stay late to do the coaching. So they are busy. There are some teachers like they could do a little more. They could reach out to those college coaches. They could get those college coaches to come in, talk to the kids. And we got to get more coaches to reach out to the upper divisions, because what I see in a lot of school districts, because I live in one district and I coach in another district and I work in another district. So I see all the different districts. The coaches need to reach out to other people other than just Division III. Division III is very easy to get college coaches to come, because They're their first outlet is Division III.
Okay.
And don't mistake me, if you get a scholarship for any D1, D2, D3, it's D something. So I don't care what it is. Not that I'm putting it in a pecking order, so to speak, but you get any kind of scholarship for any D whatever, that's an accomplishment in life. So take it and run with it. If it's D3 and you're kicking ass in D3, then reach out to a D2 coach and do a transfer, But I would love to see some D2 coaches coming down. It's very hard to get those Division I coaches coming down. That's like you best be the best athlete in the state for even. You know what I mean? And it's a shame because there are some athletes in high school that don't get any offers that could probably compete on D1 level. And because nobody sees them, but because they're so interested in just going D3, it is what it is, but they coaches could definitely do more.
Yeah, definitely.
They just got
That's good, Coach. Coach, I really, really appreciate all that info you giving the insight. And when everybody that's streaming on YouTube, they see this and we're going to broadcast this, I hope they really, really, parents included, really take a listen to this so they can see the insight from where you see it at. Because a lot of us don't see that. I didn't know if a teacher wants to just come in. I didn't know these things. So, it is a culture thing. Even for these coaches that aren't teachers, that could be something that if they're still young and coaching, they can go back to school and try to figure it out, because you don't want to build a culture like that, 10-year dominant force, and then a teacher just wants to come over and change the whole program. So I completely get that. So this is where we're gonna get into the NFL fun part, Coach. I want you to pick 2 games, and I know you love your boys. All right. All right. So I don't know if you picked them, but I want you to pick 2 games, Coach, and I want you to give us your winner from them. Any game on the slate today.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now, the first game that raised an eyebrow with me was the Bills and the Jets, man.
Okay.
That's gonna be a heck of a game because the Jets are on fire this year, and the Bills are still riding the wave.
Yes, they are.
Wait, man, who's this team? Hold on. Who's your team, man? Hold on.
Oh, I bleed blue, bro. I'm a Giants fan.
Giants fan. He's a Giants
fan. Okay. Yo, I hate y'all, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. You know why I hate y'all? This is why, man. This is why I hate Giant fans. Because y'all
we got Mos on here too.
Yep. He's backstage there.
Bring Mos in. We're gonna let Coach after you finish. I want you to bring Mos in, but Corey, I want you to do your thing. Let Coach do his 2 picks. We'll let Coach go on and bring Mos on in, man.
No, I just wanted to say this because y'all will win the Super Bowl in dramatic fashion. And then next year, you'll be like, fire Coughlin. He's the worst coach. And Coughlin will go somewhere else and then turn up. I'll be like, man, they don't appreciate stuff. And the whole time, Eli Manning, get him out of here. But go ahead, man. That's
that's welcome. That's New York. New York is very critical, and the problem is the upper people start to listen to all that noise and distraction instead of just focusing on building your team. We're notorious for not having an offensive line. Look at the Cowboys line. You take their line away, Dak ain't nothing. I'm sorry, Dak ain't nothing. The Cowboys got a phenomenal offensive line, and they have for years. It makes any quarterback they have look good. Look at the Jets this year. Look at their line. Their line improved, insanely improved. And look at them. Look at the Bills offensive line. Give it a few more years, the Giants will be up in the mix. We weren't expected to win.
They're in the mix now. They're in the mix.
Yeah, but you know what? Towards the end of the season, now Saquon talking about he's hurt and everything else. Like, come on, man. When we play football busy, we play with broken fingers.
Yeah, we play
shoulders. And these guys like, ow, I can't play for 2 weeks.
Let me bring in Mos, man. But I like what Brian Daboll brings to the table over there, though.
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas?
What's good?
What's up, Mos?
So, Coach, what is your 2 games, your 2 picks?
So Bills and Jets, I think I'm gonna go with the Jets this week.
For this week.
And the Giants and Eagles. I want the Giants to win, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Eagles are gonna kick my ass, but that's my 2 picks right there.
Okay.
You like them straight up, or you like the spread? Where we going?
No, I like. I didn't even see what's the spread on the Giants.
Giant spread is 7.5. I mean 7 minus 7.
Oh yeah, Eagles gonna take that.
Yeah.
Yep, they're gonna cover that.
I mean, if you really still believe in the Giants, you kind of crazy right now. Like, they really haven't shown anything other than the first few weeks when the Giants fans was all over social media. I mean, honestly, I don't hate the Giants because they're the only reason why I'm relevant in life, because I'm a Jets fan. So we really don't have too much to celebrate. So whenever another New York team, and other than Buffalo, is doing something good, I celebrate. But the Giants is so heartbreaking. Like you said, it's New York. They're very tough, but the organization, man, they don't put the money in the right places. I mean,
exactly.
To let a guy like Odell leave, and then a few years later you're like, oh, we want him back. Like, for what? For what? You should have never let him go in the first place. But you know what? We ain't too good at keeping our rock stars, but damn sure when they leave us, we want them right back.
Well, Coach, I want to give you a big shout out. Thank you, Coach, for taking your time out this morning, coming on the show and give us a little insight.
Now, I actually did have one thing I did want to say to Coach, because I heard y'all talking about the high school. My thing is, a lot of high school coaches don't even have connections with these D1 programs. It's not hard to get these recruiters to come down. It's the fact that some of these guys that they're hiring are nothing against social studies teachers, but if you're a social studies teacher, teach history. I get it. You might want to take that extra little stipend to coach, but you are hindering these kids' careers. We talked about it last week. These coaches that want to do wing T, what are you doing to help your kids? You're doing it to take that stipend and just get by, because unless they're going to Army or Navy, they're wasting their time. 4 years, they're literally just being an extra man on the roster, or mostly, if you're a lineman, that's the only time you're going to get recruited, maybe a running back. But even with the footwork of running backs who run wing T, they're not respected as much because they're running jet sweeps. And then when they get to college, they're slot receivers, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have experience catching the ball. So it's like, I went to my stepson's basketball game the other day, and I'm coaching from the stands, and I'm looking at the coach, and like, he got these kids running press. He takes out all the centers. So then, as a coach, you're supposed to adjust and tell the tallest man on the court he is now the center. The coach is not coaching. It's like, they love this money, they accept the money, but are they really coaching? Are they really thinking about the kids? And that's my thing. It's like, if you're going to do hires, the same way college coaches are hired and the same way the analytics are done in high school, if we had athletic directors who get paid a lot of fucking money in high school, if we get them to think and do statistics and build a team, I get it. Some people's funding is not there, but I bet you a young coach should take what these stipends are getting just to be able to help these young kids. There are young, talented, great-minded guys who maybe not old enough for the standard of what you want to expect, but I bet you a 25-year-old coach should get a kid recruited faster than a 40-something-year-old coach. And that's typically just off of the fact that they know this generation. Some of these older coaches don't know this generation. They can't connect. So when you have your mindset of, I've been around football for 20 years, have you been adjusting for 20 years? Because football 20 years ago is different than football now. Like you said, some of the kids are soft. So there's a different approach you got to come to the kids. These kids are social media savvy. Like, people hinder Deion Sanders, but this man is adaptable. This man is social media and understands the dynamic of what that does for these kids. He's getting these kids to flip because he's like, look at what I can do. Look at what I can do. Even without getting the recruits, I was seeing on Instagram these kids, top 5 schools, JSU. They might not be considering JSU, but they understand that JSU tag gets them more followers, and understand those followers increase their NIL money. Okay. It increases their likability and puts eyes on them by other coaches. Like, damn, well, if Deion is looking at them, let me look at them. Because some of these guys, I'm looking at their offers and I'm like, Marshall, like, they're 4-star recruit and they got Marshall. Like, yeah, that should be one of your first offers. But if that's in your top 10, kid, are you really being recruited properly? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing against Marshall, but I'm just like thinking about the Power Fives and the opportunities and the resources some of these guys got. Like, they're not willing to give these kids opportunities. We see 5-star players fizzle out every year. We see them not playing out every year. That's because, you know what? Sometimes analytics versus faith and development is way different. Some of these coaches can't develop because, you know what? I've been coaching for 22 years. Have you been adapting for 22 years? One thing about our coach right there, he's adaptable. He sees his players, he understands their talent, and he's going to put them in the right position to succeed. Some of these coaches aren't doing that. Some of these coaches because if a D1 coach don't see you adjusting, why do they even want to come see your program?
Period.
They're only there. They don't know how long they're going to be coaching at college. They only got like that 4-year window, you know?
I was told that my offense was too complicated. Now, you're both running my offense. So we got personnel packages, you know what I'm saying? So when you get to the high school level, like you said, everybody wants to run the wing or the double wing or the wing T, or they want to run RPO.
It's complicated, but then you send these kids to college with this simple.
They're trying to learn high school. They're trying to learn too much in school, and then they get to this, and they got to try and learn everything about this. And then the minute you take one kid that always played that certain position because somebody got hurt and now he's got to move over. Exactly. Now that kid is in space. He doesn't understand what he's supposed to do. We're getting beat over the top. We're getting beat underneath. And it's like, this is why we have to have personnel packages and a depth chart. And I try to explain, well, you're coach maybe in some other. Oh, okay. All right.
Before we get too far off this, because we'll talk about this all day. We'll get on this all day.
But I had to say that coach is one of the best ones I've seen out here, man.
Listen, let me leave with this, Biz. Last thing I do as a coach who's not a head coach, and they always go to the head coach, all these schools, right? I go over them, so to speak, not spitefully, but I go right on to any D1 school, and I'll get the email for the running backs coach, the wide receiver coach, and whatever. And I take all my guys' huddle film or highlights, and I'll send it. Hey, do me a favor. Can you please take a look at this kid? Now, they may never me or not, but I am reaching out to those D1s and D2 guys because I have to do what I have to do for my kids.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, and that's the difference. Coach Kual, thank you so much for coming on today's show, man.
Thanks, guys.
He went Jets in Philly. And that's what I'm gonna go with too. I don't care what any of y'all say.
I got two different picks, man. I got two games I'm really looking forward to seeing today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's get into that, man. So
let's get into it because here he go. He wants
my two division games I'm looking forward to seeing is the Bengals and Browns. And then the Steelers Ravens. You know what I'm saying? I feel like both of those games always have excitement. I mean, the Browns more recent than in the past, but with Deshaun Watson's second game, I feel like he's gonna play better. He don't have the pressure of, you know, everything outside of football on him. And then, you know, the Steelers and Ravens is always a good game. Without Lamar, let's see what these Kenny Pickett does for the Steelers, and you know, let's see what that rivalry builds up to be today. But
I like the Steelers today, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do too because of their running game. I think their running game is elite. I mean, Najee Harris is having a pretty damn good season despite their record. But, you know, we're going to see. You know, these divisional games always give us a little, you know, sitting on the edge of our seats.
That's
you know what I mean?
Oh, that's why I want to take the Giants, man. Just for that reason.
Yeah, but yo, if you look at Philly,
have something for them this week.
Yeah, but if you look at Philly, man, them dogs is not playing. They not coming here to let you breathe.
And it's time for them to lose again, I feel like.
Nah,
they lost one. They slipped up.
The Washington Commanders.
It's snow time too in New York. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but Philly right there, they used to the snow too. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You know, like.
But I don't know. With Saquon, if they say Saquon hurt, man, I don't know, man. I think Philly gonna blow them out.
Listen, even if Saquon playing, honestly, like you got to look at the Philly team. They healthy. They are healthy. They got all their wide receivers. They got
They
Smith,
healthy.
Brown.
They healthy,
You know, they healthy. They Sanders is looking great. His cleats is looking amazing. I'm just saying,
Yo, he's
their
big on
defensive
swag.
line
Yo,
is
he's big
ridiculous.
on swag. Dude, he's big on swag, man. Trust me.
Listen,
That
do
kid
you?
on the
When
field.
I look at a football player, I look at his feet first, just
Trash.
to
If
understand
let that nigga have some weird. He's trash.
anybody that wear plastic
that nigga-
bottoms,
if he got
joints
ankle
that's
socks
a
on,
thick sole.
Do you? If he got some weird cleats on and some ankle socks,
Yeah.
Bad business.
Yo, you're trash. You can't
It's
even
bad
talk-
business
Yo,
because
he's
I
not even-
I
he's
never
not even
seen
giving him
I
nothing
never
else,
seen
though.
a successful ankle sock wearing person. Yeah, like I ain't seen him. The way Dion wore his socks, the way a lot of these guys, no, I don't. Even the NFL got a rule, like they don't even let you wear ankle socks. So you know what? Keep that for the basketball players, man. Keep that for the ball players.
You're a point guard. Get out of here.
Hey, the extra bands, all that shit matter to me. That's just me personally. 'Cause
My son was about that life too this year. He was like, "Yo, I gotta look good out there, man." It's like, yeah, you gotta catch the damn ball first.
Listen, I changed my stepson's whole swag, man. That boy was he ain't know what really was about to happen. He like, why do you care if I wear black socks? Cause I care. Like it's not about
you're my stepson now.
Like you understand? Like I'm in the stands rooting for you. Do you want me to root for you? Because I'll be in the stands like, who cares?
Yo, son, come on, man. You want me to root for you? 'Cause I can root for the other kids.
I will root for the other team. I swear to you. I'll be like, hey, number 22. You're my kid now.
So who did you say was your picks though, bro?
Ravens versus Steelers, and then the Browns versus Bengals. You know, like
who you got?
I got the Bengals today. I mean, I think with Lamar Chase back and then a couple weapons they get back, Joe Burrow's looking good. So I think they're gonna take that game. I mean, although I do have Deshaun Watson having a good second game, I think he's gonna come back even stronger. I mean, both defenses are pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna come down to it, but I think the Bengals just got a lot more power than the Browns do. Especially I heard that Amari Cooper might be hurt. So you know what I mean? So that kind of takes away a weapon for Deshaun Watson to be successful. Although they got, Donovan Peoples-Jones is stepping up as a player.
I don't believe
it. He's from Michigan, so I don't really believe in him either. But he's been showing some flashes.
Well, I don't like that.
And then the Steelers Ravens is always a good game. I mean, it don't matter what either one of their records are, and then we get to see Huntley, I mean, to be honest, Duya was very, very confident in Huntley.
No, I just said he's good, man.
I'm gonna build up your confidence today, and I'm gonna say the Ravens pull it out. But I think Najee Harris is
three. I think they gave him 2.5 or 3 or some shit like that. I think, or even 4.
Because at this point, because I'm torn, kind of. I want to see my guy Huntley do his thing.
They gave him 2.
But I don't want Mike Tomlin's streak to end, man.
I get it.
I don't want him to have a losing season. I want him to at least get into 8-8 or 9-8 or whatever.
I'm just here. I seen it, but I didn't want to comment on it early because Coach was in the middle of it. Come on, Darian. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. I saw that.
He loves them, man. I get it, but dang, man.
What happened?
No, he said Bolt.
I'm just here to say Bolt the fuck up.
He's talking about his Chargers, man.
That's Chargers.
Come on, man. Like they all the way in the West Coast. Why we even worried about them? Well, I mean, granted, he's definitely a die-hard Chargers fan. Like that's the only dude I know that posts Keenan Allen on the East Side. But hey, I mean, listen, his team looked good. They got the quarterback that really changed their whole franchise. I mean, that's the franchise of unknown running backs. Like, I mean, they didn't ever since LT left them. They turned Darren Sproles into something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to develop running backs over there. So Eckler is I didn't believe in him a lot. Even I still don't even believe in drafting him in fantasy. And then every year he shows me, why didn't I draft you? Because that man, he gets so many touches, and you don't even think he would get that many opportunities. So, I big up the Bolts too. They looking good. They building something over there. So
okay. I mean, I like Justin.
Yo, his release is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
He's got a little something to him.
You got like it's like some people don't watch football, you know what I'm saying, and really understand and watch just the little things that matter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one of the announcers said it, and then I watched the game, and I'm like, yo, man, that dude really got a quick release, man. And I'm looking at his receivers, and their routes is more crispier. They've been together for a few years. I think it's kind of like the Buffalo effect. Like something with Josh Allen is clicking. So it's kind of like that class is just they really ready to turn up.
Really ready to take over for the new quarterback.
I think so too, man. I think.
How you feel about Buffalo's? You feel about Buffalo's defense losing Von Miller?
I mean, I felt like it was a big loss, but then again, like I know they lost some DBs this year, so but I never look at Buffalo as a defensive team, you know, like other than this year with Von, I don't think we ever was like, damn, they have one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, they play in a okay division, you know, because let's be honest, Miami's good this year, Jets is good this year. We're not even gonna name the other team, but
at all. We're not
at all. We're not even gonna speak on them. But to be real, like
we should agree on that.
Yeah, because it's that division is nothing to everybody besides that other team that came out that division all disappointed in life. So
right,
like Miami went undefeated, lost. I don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about it. Like some of our history is not the greatest. Okay, so. Hey, Buffalo, I think it's all going to fall on the shoulders of Josh Allen. Like, his turnovers need to stop. But honestly, if he play his best game, he going to put you in the game every time. Because you know what? Unlike Wilson, did you let your defense down? No. Josh Allen's not letting his defense down. He's going to put up points. So it's up to his defense to hold people to field goals. I mean, like, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, and if it's going to be a shootout, I'm giving it to Josh Allen all day because that man he could throw 60 yards effortlessly.
I like White Mike this week, man.
I mean, listen, that's my guy. You know, I'm thankful that he got the opportunity. A few weeks ago, I was like, who is this guy? I had to look up his resume. He was on the Cowboys at one point, and I was kind of a little disappointed. Like, what did he learn over there? And now, I'm a big believer. I'm a happy guy. You know,
when he came in last year, that's when I was like, who is this dude, man?
Oh, for 400.
I just believe in like our skill players this year are dogs, bro. Dogs. You know, like I mean, sucks that we lost our Bryce. Running back, it kind of that the boy was having a great year, but I with more getting more touches, I love that because they like literally a month ago they asked him, how's your connection with Zach Wilson? He's like, I don't get the ball. Like I don't have none. I don't get the ball.
So how do you do?
Yo, I just my thing is you're a first-round receiver or a second-round receiver, and you get 0 receptions from a quarterback that was drafted in the same. That's bad, man. If you drafted with me and you don't throw me no receptions, I swear your car gonna get egged because you bugging. So, and then Garrett Wilson is showing he is a worthy rookie, and a lot of people were kind of questioning that pick, which was kind of weird. I'm a OH guy, so if we wasn't getting him, it better have been Olave who leads all rookies in receptions and yards. So, hey, I think we did the right thing. I think we on the right path. Yeah. So I think we're a year early too.
Yeah,
I think we're a year early too.
I want to talk about this game though. I want to talk about this game real quick. I want to talk about the Bucs versus Niners game, man. Do you think Tom Brady can do it against Purdy?
I feel like Purdy got a lot of weapons around him to be mediocre. Like, he could be mediocre and still pull out this win. So HBO has this in-season Hard Knocks with the Arizona Cardinals, right? And I'm watching them play the 49ers.
Yep.
Yo, the 49ers, man, all around. Once they got McCaffrey, my whole mindset changed about them. Because not just Debo, they got some sneaky talent over there, you know, and it never been based on the quarterback. I think they could have signed Baker Mayfield and he would have did something good. I see your face, Busy, but look at that last drive that man did for the Rams.
No,
that was crazy.
When he went, I was hitting Dewey up like, yo, are you seeing? He said, what? I said, man, the man.
Yeah, listen.
2 yards in third quarter. There was 9 minutes left in the third quarter. I looked at his stats. He was 4 of 12 for 72 yards. I said,
I mean, you gotta see too. He just met those guys the day before. Like,
that's crazy.
Imagine.
How is he even playing though? How is he even playing? That was
they
crazy.
Picked up his waiver wire, so he doesn't have to sit out. And if normally teams like sit you out because you're not prepared in the playbook, but they needed a quarterback. But they
also said, what's the name said that some of the calls match Cleveland's. So some of Cleveland's calls and stuff like that match equally with St. Louis, so with the Rams, with Los Angeles, so that's why it kind of compacted a little bit.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, it was that last drive when he's actually telling receivers what to do. It was, like I said, some people watch the game. I watched the details of the game and his command and his control and him in a 2-minute drill telling people what to run. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like that was his first game or even he's new to the team. It looked like he was there. But back to Purdy, I think Purdy's been in the program enough to understand what they need from him. He's not going to be this great. I think it's the same situation with Mike White. They're in a situation where they can't fail, and it's only going to build them up if they continue to play solid. You know, like, less turnovers. We don't need you to throw for 400. If you do, that's literally because you're playing the game that we're asking you to play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys like Zach Wilson, they want to do a lot more than what you're telling them to do, which is no problem if you got the talent to do it. Like a guy like Josh Allen, his offensive coordinator gives him confidence to literally run plays on his own, regardless of if it's a fail or success. They understand that he's still going to have more positive, possession than he is negative. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if they take the negative, they understand, hey, he'll bring it back. You know, some of these guys that are getting these opportunities as backups, most of them understand that this job is not secure. So what I'm doing is auditioning myself for other teams. So if I play solid, I could be a backup in this league for a few years. I mean, that's the best thing about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, people look at him as a starting quarterback. I never did. I think he's a solid backup, and I think he's a game manager, as we talked about the other day. He's a person that is going to play his game, and when y'all win, it might not be because of him, but y'all will understand he played a crucial part in the game. You know what I mean? So
I can't even front, man. I like the way he handled the whole situation, man, because he kept trying to throw him to the trash, and he just stood tall, like, yo, I'm here. I'm gonna ball. I'm gonna play. As soon as Lance went out, he just stepped in, kept winning. The team got his back. It seems like when the organization doesn't.
You remember his time for that other team up north. You know what I'm saying? Like that he went through the same thing there. You know what I'm saying? I think his mental is built different, and some of these guys that are veteran backups. I want to call him a veteran backup. Like he has the opportunity.
Come on, man. We can't.
He's a veteran backup.
He's
like
$140 million man.
I mean, just because you get listen. Let's talk about Kenny Golladay for the Giants. How many million is he getting? Is he a number one receiver? No. So it don't matter how much a team is willing. It don't matter how much a team is willing to pay you. That's just because they got the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of guys on your bench who should be getting that money that's not getting that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of veterans that, you know, like, that are coming in and helping and taking veteran minimums when you got guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, who has a history of getting hurt, has a history of being a backup, has a history of just being a fill-in guy, because he brought them to the Super Bowl, but did he have the best statistic year?
Blew it in the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, but did he have the season of a Pro Bowl quarterback? Like, when you think of Super Bowls, you think of, you know, like, the quarterback is the crucial part. I mean, that's all in due to Tom Brady literally brainwashing us for a few years, thinking that quarterbacks really make your wins. So with that thought process, I never looked at Jimmy as a star or
but you gotta respect, like, when the CJ
No, it's not that I don't
these guys get in there and they lose. You know what I'm saying?
But I look at backups like Cooper Rush. Like, you look at other teams' backups and you gotta compare what you compare to. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of teams have fill-in guys. Not a lot of teams have these guys who could step up and be a $140 million man, you know what I'm saying, and be able to manage the team that he does. Because how you 140 million and your stats don't even match what your paycheck is looking like.
But has the stats ever matched to begin with to get that pay? It was just he because
most do. I mean, if you think about it, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it's this quarterback's up for a contract. When Russell Wilson was up for the contract, his career showed that he deserved that. Dak Prescott, his career is showing that he has that. The dude was what, 4th round pick? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. He earned that. He earned that, you know what I'm saying? And he is the leader of his locker room. Jimmy Garoppolo is a fill-in piece for his locker room. He's a great guy. He's a great smile. He's great on posters. But when you put him in the game, he's a game manager. He does not. I wouldn't buy a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. That's not. If I go in the store and I'm looking at the 49ers jersey, I'm going Deebo Samuels, like the tight end Kittle. I would buy his jersey. I would buy it if it was a large, and I wear a medium, okay? I would buy it just because. Even if Jimmy Garoppolo was next to him and it was in my size, I'm buying Kittle's jersey. And that's straight off of the fact that man balls. That's a Pro Bowler. That's whose jersey. Because guess what? Jimmy Garoppolo ain't going to be there in 2 years. Once Trey Lance get healthy, Jimmy Garoppolo is coming to the Jets.
I guarantee
you,
he'll be under center somewhere, man. He'll be under center somewhere getting
it. For New York.
I mean, for New York, for the Jets. For somebody that's literally like, well, since we want to get rid of Zach Wilson and we need to bridge a gap between when the next big quarterback is coming out. I mean, hey, we're doing well this year. We know we're not going to get a top pick to pick a quarterback, so. I think
you don't need one though. You don't need a top pick to get a quarterback. Lamar Jackson was in the 20s. But you gotta but he was in the 20s based off of his skin color. Like, they not really looking at a quarterback with his talent.
Gonna be a running quarterback.
Yeah, they wasn't. A lot of people didn't have faith that he could be a solid quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great athlete, but when you look at his quarterback IQ, like, he's actually smarter than a lot of people give him credit for.
I understand how they didn't see it.
No, they didn't.
You know what? So from the scouting perspective, when you look at these colleges, like I said, even with high school, some of these colleges aren't putting these guys in the best position. I mean, when you look at his film, it was a lot of read option. They don't run that. They don't run that a lot in the NFL. So from a scouting perspective, you're looking at his film and you're like, the dude could run, but can I see more passes? Yeah, he was a Heisman, but let's be honest. Heisman is a little more popularity contest plus stats. You know what I'm saying? And they give a little favor to the running quarterbacks because you add another dynamic to the position. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look at it like that. Like, to be honest, it's just the way scouting is nowadays, and that's from the college level to the the NFL level. Scouting is just what you see on film and what you think. What could you do for me? So if I'm looking at your film and I don't feel you could do this for me, you're not gonna fit. Like, for us Jets fans, Zach Wilson was drafted solely off of his arm talent. Yeah. We haven't seen a guy could throw like that. We haven't had a quarterback that could throw like that. But when you look at Seattle and see what they did with Geno Smith and act like we didn't draft that man,
right?
That man is in the top 6 in passing yards. Did I ever think that? No. I don't know. But understand that the system makes who you are. Russell Wilson is struggling because when he went to a different system, it wasn't built for him. You see the Seahawks, Geno Smith fits perfect. He is a great play action quarterback.
Yep.
And if you put a line in front of him, the dude can do some things. And if you give him a DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, the man can be successful. Did we ever believe in him enough to do that?
No,
we can't even lie. He's another guy, yo. He's another guy.
Receiver, though. We also didn't have those type of receivers, I think, when he played.
Yeah, we had, we tried.
He's another guy that I feel like he's handled himself like a real professional veteran this whole time. Like he was saying, because they were saying, how did you, get through the tough times? I was watching an interview with him, and he was like, man, my tough times would be somebody's like happiest times.
Man.
To even be in the NFL struggling is a reward for me. So like,
I go back to the filler. He is a filler. He is a person who is going to get it done when you ask him to do what he's supposed to do. Now, you get a guy like Cam Newton, who is a special talent, who has his own mindset. You cannot mold that man into a filler because he is who he is. There's certain guys that could literally be the filler. There's certain guys who just...
Ryan Fitzpatrick, ultimate filler.
Ultimate filler. But, hey, let's be honest, like, Jimmy Garoppolo is the highest paid filler we've ever seen in history.
I mean, damn, isn't he? I don't want to
go back and look at his film and tell me
on Eli,
what about Jimmy Garoppolo?
What
excites you? Please.
You about Eli?
I was gonna say, doesn't he have like the same type of stats as?
Yeah, but he has
minus the ring.
Yeah, but
he got rings too.
I don't look at Eli as a filler because he's been a starter his whole career. Even when he went out on his own. Weak arm and all that. He said, yo, fuck it. We gonna go out slanging. I don't care.
Slanging this thing, yeah.
That man told the Chargers, do not draft me.
Yo, that was don't even do it to yourself.
I will not be there.
You heard that, Darian? He told the Bolts, do not draft me.
You draft me, I will not show.
I feel like LeBron's gonna do that for Bronny when he gets in the league, man. Like, yo, don't even pick him, man. Don't even do it to yourself. We're not coming there.
We're not
going to whatever team we want, man. Listen,
Bronny going to Ohio State next year, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Damn, Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he got to come home. Like, you go to one of these programs. I mean, if it ain't Ohio State and Duke don't give him an offer, nowhere else makes sense.
I'm gonna hurt your feelings, man.
Where you think he gonna go?
Go to Michigan, man.
He would never. His father would never let him in.
Never allowed.
LeBron's
an Ohio State.
I get it. Howard, I get it.
Bro.
Juwan Howard's his man.
That's his man.
That's his man's. But y'all don't understand when the Miami Heat, when they was they used to argue about the OH and Bron didn't even go to Ohio State.
I know
that's his team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, listen, you gotta support your kid where you go. But hey, that boy got signed by Nike in high school, and that's regardless of how you feel, due to his father's connections. Because if his father was Under Armour, he would not be Nike. So
Yeah.
people could say what they want, but Bronny is not going to Michigan. It's not happening. It's not happening.
We'll see. We'll double back on it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we definitely got to double back.
if
on
he do, listen, I will never root for the James family ever again. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
that.
Bronny, every video that pop up on YouTube, I'm Xing out of. I don't want to even see you anymore.
Yo. He said,
Hey, a lot of
video-
recruits done got unfollowed by me because you know what? I don't play that game. You ain't about to flood my social media with that curse word.
that negativity.
But nah, yo, I really appreciate you fellas for having me on, man. It's always good
okay,
talking
man,
football
okay,
with
man.
y'all.
Yo, Mos, it's always good to pleasure to have you on.
Yo,
brother.
I
It's always
appreciate you fellas. If
Thank
y'all
you, bro.
ever, need another guest host, let me know. I'm here, man. Or
Got you,
if
bro.
Busy gets sick, just
Yo,
I'm
do
checking
ya?
my emails all day. You know what I'm saying? When I
I got
see your
you.
name,
Got you.
when I see your name pop up in the email, I'll be like, Star, flag that. Let me keep that on there real quick, just in case.
Yes.
Yo,
Okay.
Mos, good having you, bro. Good having
Hey,
you.
yo, I appreciate you fellas. Y'all have a good
All right.
Sunday. Enjoy
Bro,
some
bro.
football, man.
Facts. Definitely.
Yo,
Hey,
Julius, man. It
He's
was
a
a good one
classic,
today.
man. Yeah, he's a classic, man.
Yeah, Mos, this is what I dealt with, though. That's what I dealt with for like 8 years, bro. We played against most of them. When we played for the Hudson Valley Cowboys, we
Yep.
played against most of them. Imagine playing against this man. This man, look, when I tell you Maine, he had Maine on and all and rubbed all in the wrong way. You hear what I'm saying? But all of them love him now. All of them love him now. That's the bro, man. But what do we got, man? We good for the day, right? What's going on? Football.
Yeah, I mean, we
stuff?
covered a lot of the games except for Kansas City and Denver.
Well, I mean, I
Well,
want to tell you.
Oh,
like,
you know what? This is what I wanted to ask you, man, because before Most was actually got off, I wanted to ask him. The Cowboys are 17 and a half point favorites.
I'm looking at that like, what the hell? But and I think they're playing.
Bro, all the money's gonna go on the Texans, so that just kind of tells you that they'll probably cover that. Just the fact that they'll have all the money on. I gotta look on the app real quick and see.
I feel like all the money is gonna go on Texans. I think people are even gonna hike the Texans up to like 20 because I considered that.
Right.
And because it's an interstate, Houston and Texas. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That's
Houston
a
and
good point.
Dallas.
I forgot that they don't even got to travel far for that.
Nah, it's Houston, Dallas. So fans is gonna be mixed in. It's gonna be in Jerry World though. But I mean, it's the quarterback, bro. It is the quarterback. You still got that backup quarterback playing against Dallas's defense.
That's crazy, man. 17 and a half.
I almost want to take Dallas for 20.
I would bring it down to like 10 if you can, or 13.
I mean,
13.
Probably 14. I mean, it's either take the 20 or 14 because it's Houston's defense. I don't think it's gonna be able to come out there and just stop Dallas, man.
Dallas is gonna score 38, 35, and 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, something like that.
Crazy, man. It's just out of control. But I mean, what can you do, man?
Some good games this week, though. Some good matchups, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
some good
I
ones.
like that matchup between Jacksonville and Tennessee. That could be interesting. Jacksonville could.
That actually could. Because that's an interdivision. That's an inter conference game too.
Yeah. Miami versus the Chargers. That's the late night.
That's gonna be a shootout, I believe.
I hope the Chargers can beat them. Actually, I'm gonna root for the Chargers tonight. That would be good if they could beat them. Then we got Monday night, Arizona and New England, man.
I ain't doing shit with them.
That's
Fuck them.
terrible.
I ain't touching that game at all. I'm just gonna watch that game.
Yo, it's crazy because y'all boys be hating New England so much, but I hate the Dolphins, man. I hate the Dolphins.
Get it, man, but I can't.
They try to talk about the Dolphins. Oh, yeah, they're so great. Oh, Don Shula, blah, blah, blah. Them just the Jets with sunshine and sand, man. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, Miami. The Southern Jets, man.
That's it.
Oh, man. All right. So where we at, man?
I mean, that's pretty much the what we have for the day, man. We had our guest, Coach pull up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That was a good look. Most always popping up on us. You know what I'm saying? We always welcome up to
all this technology, they could damn turn men to women and all this weird stuff. And I can't even stay on for a good interview, man. It's pissing me off, man.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, but I mean, man, it's what it is, though. That's crazy because they gotta kick you off when it's just getting the juice.
Yes, right. I had the most questions I wanted to ask him.
Yeah, I mean, he probably covered anything that you wanted to ask him if you go back and look. But I mean, for the most part, bro, it was great timing. Great timing for everything that happened and everything. And I mean, shit. Football NFL post games is coming on in about 45 minutes.
Oh yeah. I think ESPN
snowing out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta move a car or two.
Yep, we got the Final Four tonight of the First Reverse. We got Biggie versus Jay-Z, and then Nas versus Black Thought. So tune into that 6 p.m.
Nas versus Black Thought. Wait, Jay-Z versus who?
Jay-Z versus Biggie. And Nas versus Black Thought.
Bro, I don't care what you say. I don't know how. I don't care.
What? Go ahead.
I don't even know how
Biggie beat Lloyd Banks.
I don't even know, bro. This just I don't see how that was possible. I love the judges though, man, but I don't see how that was possible.
Yeah,
that was weird. That's all I'm gonna say. That was weird.
I thought so too, man. I can't even lie though. But we out, man.
We out.
Back tomorrow.
Into it.
I'm waking up early in the morning, get my hustle on. If you go to war with me, I hope your money long. Told them I ain't here for the games or the sing along. If there's money out here and I can't eat, then we can get along. Let's get into it. Get along. Yeah, I'm hot bored. I'm really hot bored. Talking in to get you weak, cause that's something you're not bored. Killers moving silence, move militant because